I have asked to review this portfolio I had, and I was given some ideas, and so I'd like to implement these changes. And here's where I have the project. And this, I believe, was Foundation 6. I forgot which version. 6.3 minimum. I think one of these files should tell me the exact version. 6.31 and okay, I'm not gonna run update now, just to make afterwards after I fix the issues. So for this project, the way I set up files was so a portfolio is just some assets that are not related to this to the foundation. So this is simple site. I just have these projects, different, and I tried it to set up so each project has its page in the project folder. So I'm gonna be updating this file, this project, make it put in shoe. So I usually try to open the HTML file on one pane and all the assets on the other. So I have pages one, the scripts in the other page, and the naming convention is very similar. And same with the SAS file. So I'm gonna try to, if I can put them by side. So I think there's a way to put this pane underneath. I guess that doesn't matter at this moment. And so I'm gonna go to this page and I'm gonna so here I have kind of this front matter as so for here I'm using the Zurb template, so which comes with handlebars, panini, browser sync, and other assets. And trying to find where they give you more details. Okay, I'm not gonna stay there for too long. It's been a while since I touched foundation and this side, but yeah, I hope they would create number 7 sometime. So here is for this file the structure of the way I understand for foundation is I have the layout. So I guess that would be like a master, master page, and here is what where the common assets are displayed, and here is where I get the index page, this part injected into the body, and another, and the front matter would be also injected into the default, into the layout. So page title would be displayed here, and some other global assets. Global is asset in the, should be in the data folder. This would be global, so I just have the website here set, so that would be this part, the source, and then the page name. So page title will be here, and it will be appended to the global website name. and there are a few others, if else statements, if equal, kind of straightforward from the Zurb, how they had set up. And for me, I just added few other if else statements. So depending on if this is project page or regular page, I will have added certain libraries here at the end of the layout file. So the idea here was, so I'm gonna modify. First, I'm gonna add. I was told it's a good idea to have when user clicks on the image, they should open the project on this side in the new window. Just gonna I just thought about it, since this is something that will be used in many images. I'm thinking to set up something like reusable like a variable in the front matter. This way I can change it here if it does change in the future, and it should change everywhere else. I'm just gonna test this. It's been a while since I use this, so I think that's how I need to do. Okay, looks like it's okay. Seems like that's working. And using VS Code, I can press Ctrl D, and it will find me all instances of these this text. So there should be 2 instances here, and okay, and I have it selected, so I should be able to delete it, and it will work. Okay, it seems like it's working. And now I'm just gonna, I can also do this project. I guess that would be project name. Well, I can actually reuse this, the page title, project URL. Okay, this might be, I have paused for a little bit, so I decided to create a handlebars helper, and so I can reuse a project web address, and I looked at how they had it set up in Foundation, and here's what I found. So this is already was included in the original file, and I went ahead and created this helper, and the way it works is that it uses substring method, and I look for the first instance of this character and then add 2 to move the substring past this character, 2 characters, and so I'm gonna take instead of have it hard-coded in this section, I will just insert it here. It seems like it's working, and I need to do the same at the bottom here as well. So now I'm gonna update this section, update, and now I need to get to the each image and update its hyperlink. So wherever I have image, I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna select image tag and press Ctrl D, and that should select, and then go through all the images, make sure that's the one I want to select. Okay, that should work. And now I'm gonna Title. I'm just gonna do little something different, I realized. I'm also gonna reuse this data here. I need to remove this class. There shouldn't be any class here. And I need to close this link tag. Okay, looks like it closed it automatically here. So I need to delete that tag. And the rest, I think I'm gonna select manually, just go through each image. Okay, that no, test it. That it should open a new. Every image should be clickable now. And it seems like it's working. You can also see it right here when I hover. Seems like each image okay, looks like this image doesn't have link. Okay, I forgot to, I need to delete this class name from each link. I don't know if it affects, but I'm gonna delete so there is no confusion later for myself. I had to step away for a little bit, so I'm back. So I was looking at this, at why I cannot select, what was the reason I cannot select some of the images, and then I forgot to mention that I have a library running in the background. It's called Scrollmagic, and what happens is that I pin these sections, and when they're pinned, so they become position fixed. The one, the layer, the divs behind them overlap them, and that's why I couldn't select them. And here's what I mean. I have selected. This is the divider, project section divider here, and then I'm gonna put a border around it. And I also have to this is something I used to test, and then I set a flag for remove that, and it's removed, and now it's removed. So I want to find this CSS where it happens. So it's around here. Need to uncomment this, and it's like it seemed working, but for some reason it's there. Okay, so it's actually right here. Okay, I need to set the background too then. I see like an error here. 0. Maybe it's RGB. Okay, it's already set. Oops. Here on top, so I need to add okay, so now I can see it better. Okay, so this here. Okay, so it actually goes over it. That's a different divider. And then we have this divider. I think I know what happened. So it's actually underneath it. So now I'm gonna add position relative to this. This one goes on top. There might be some other issue I'll have to fix. So on this div, I'm gonna put a pointer events known. This way I can click through it, through this div. Okay, now can I still click on it? I'm gonna just to test events known, and then I'm gonna come back and allow to click on them. So I'm gonna set a parent to click events known, and then go to the child and reset it back to initial state auto. Pointer events. Sometimes when there's so many divs nested with each other, they can have so many styles added by the library as well. Pointer events. Okay, I put this back. I put it on the wrong div. Pointer. Pointer events. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm dragging it to the wrong one again. Okay, so one of these pointer events none. I want this none, this also none, and then I wanna come and have it on here. I'm not sure if, yeah, that doesn't make sense because this should inherit from here. It's possible one of these. Gives the outer parent. So I went down, I scroll down and it looks like this div is the one, is the last one. It kind of overlays the rest. It seems this way, so I'm gonna actually try to do position. Okay, so that seems like fix that issue. Yes, so this pin spacer, Scrollmagic pin spacer, was kind of overlaying the whole content, padding bottom. So it was very. So I think this was like pushing. Okay, so the height is 4,000 pixels of this given. Looks like it was just added by the library, and it was the height of the whole timeline in pixels, and it was the last. So I added the index negative. I guess I could add also pointer events. That should also work. Yeah, it seemed to work too. So I'm gonna take this class and see. It's not existent, so I'm gonna add it here. I'm gonna remove this. I think. No, actually, I still need to keep this. Let's see what happens. So I can still not click, and I just realized this pin spacer is also added on every section, so I have to if I reset it back, the pointer events on the child of the Scrollmagic pin, it should work. Okay, so now it seems like it's working. Section 01. So I'm gonna come visit here, and this should reset it on each section in the large view, and large view is the only view I use that library. So it seems like it's working now. It's clickable. It seems like it's working on the rest of the images. Okay, so I have done this part. I'm gonna do on the rest of examples as well, but for now, so the X marks on the arrow are too strong. I'm gonna this. So I have to reset this value here because it was overwriting the color. It's white now here. We need to set this transparent. Some of them I need to set, so either so it looks like when I set it, the divider on top here, it's fine, but when it comes below, now it goes on top of the index. I think position relative might affect it, yeah, so I have to remove that here and put that back here then. Oops. So I'm trying to understand here what that means. X marks and the arrow in the left upper corner are too strong. Too big. Okay, I think what that means is need to be smaller. Let's see if I make them 40, 20. Okay, we can make them 20. I can make them 20, so I also need to set the parent because there are two icons inside now. Okay, so I need to, so I set the icon to 20, home is fine. So now I need to set the container to remove 20 pixel and height and width. It doesn't seem I set it anywhere in pixels. 40. Oh, because it's a span, I have to max width. Okay, I have to display flex, so it expands. Overflow. Okay, I'm gonna keep it this way and I'm gonna adjust it in the CSS now. Copy that and icon close. Just want to see something. So, okay, got everything. Overflow. I'm gonna leave this here. I'm gonna delete it just in case I need to come back in the future. That. Have that. Then home container. What will happen if I Oh, okay. I think it still calculates width of both of these icons, even though they are rotated. They are not next to each other, but they still being calculated as 40. So I have to set it here in pixels. So width actually sets the height, and the height will set width, since the div has been rotated 180 degrees. Okay, that's seemed to work. Oh, the animations now. Okay, that's too high. And hover. I have to do this one too. These 30 pixels because there was margin 10 degrees. Oh, okay, let's a button close. Oh, well, I have to adjust button close as well. I'm trying to see which one triggers the animation. Okay, so button close link. Button close link. Okay, so yeah, I think that was correct. Okay, so it needs to rotate little. Okay, it's fine, but okay, it actually close home container. Yeah, it looks like the container itself rotates as well. So I just I have to adjust this as well. Button close link. It seems like I made mistake. I should have realized that this is the main parent, button close, and that's where the width and height is set in pixels or like REM, and the rest inherited um, with the percentage value. So I have to go here and set this. Okay, I found the values here. Okay, now it's working. Excuse me. And now I just have to adjust this, bring this div closer to the arrow. I'm gonna pause this because that's just gonna be moving pixels to the left, right, and adjusting. I guess the idea would be is to maybe do something like this. adjust the left property value. I had made this work where it goes twice smaller, but then I realized, what if I were to make this still same size here, but once the user scrolls, then it will go smaller. Then scale it down 50%. And to do that, I need to go to the JavaScript file instead of CSS and adjust that in the Scrollmagic animation. Button top link. So here is where I transform the button. I believe it's here. So we add scale. If I add scale 0.1, I want to see what will happen. Okay, it seems like it's scaling. And now I need to adjust the transform origin. So this is X value, and here will be the Y value. Okay. X. I'm gonna go back to center and we'll adjust this value. So I need to move it. I need to move the Y value a little higher. I'm gonna try 20 pixels. Not too much. 10. Okay, that seems like it's working. That's what I wanted to have. The top of the X icon flashed against the top of the arrow icon, and I need to bring this little bit to the left. Maybe 40, too close. Okay, I think I'm happy now. So only these few lines updating here fixed everything, so I didn't have to do anything in the CSS. So I reverted CSS back to original state. I want to see how this looks in the okay, looks like I'll have to adjust this in the smartphone small screen view. So the way I set up this animation is one is called parallax complex, uh, function variable, and one is called simple. And the simple, all it does is just adds that adds these two buttons, close and top, and they are called in this area. So once all the images are loaded, then I update the images this way. Scrollmagic knows the dimensions of the images for scrolling purposes, so it calculates the scroll pin. I believe that's where it needs to know all the assets in advance, and after that I check the width of the viewport, and if it's not large, so if it's between these values 0 and 1023, it displays the scroll magic is not enabled, and above it's enabled. And this is a foundation built-in query check, and here is where I cache these values. So these are foundation methods. So I'm gonna just do the same as I did here in the for the large screen. I'm thinking actually moving X arrow to the left, and I'm sorry, X close button to the left, and to the top arrow where close button is now. So the only animation I have now is the top arrow comes out from the right side. So I'm thinking, what if I were to do something like this? So it will come out from, and then a little bit delay, I will move it, let's say delay 1 second, and then I move it up 40 pixels, and I will remove the opacity. Button to top. So it seems it doesn't work, it's not working, and I think it's because in using the Scrollmagic is using one of the libraries. It's also can use this GreenSock library to animate, and from what I remember, I have the delay I set it, I had to set, but I forgot to account that if I were to take the so here's where animation duration goes. For 1 second this happens, and delays half a second. So I have to add these two values together, and only after I add them I know the total duration of this animation, and then I have to start minimum with that value. So it has to be 1.5 or more. I think that should help. Okay, that seems like it's working now. 40, and I need to, how big is this? 62 pixels. I'm gonna just set it 62, so it's around 60 without the border. So now I want to animate. So this comes out to the top, and then I have to animate the close button moving to the left, and I need to access. I'm gonna see how I did in the previous one. Okay, I can home. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this from the complex parallax and reuse it in simple parallax. And I want to also set this value here so it happens at the same time. And so for now I'm just gonna try and see what happens. Okay, it seems like it's working, but I have to adjust it a little bit. It's 10 x, so I need to move maybe 50, 45, and here I need to maybe 15, 45 and 15. Okay, that seems to be working. And so this is fixed, and I was told there's too much going on, and I was thinking what I can do to slow it down, but don't remove it, all of it. And so original idea was kind of person user scrolls and these things happen, and I wanted to try animate it from to the sides. Okay, something happened here. Looks like when I updated the CSS, I didn't test it. Like it looks like it affected some odd areas, so I can fix that. But now I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do is, instead of when I scroll and this animation happens, I am gonna animate like this only. It's gonna go like that. Actually, there won't be animation of this, but rather this animation will happen at the end automatically without scrolling. So when it's gonna happen here when I move to the next scene, it's gonna happen. I think that might fix this issue. And this is where I animate this section. So I create a new timeline here that contains many instances of twin max animation, and all this animation happens when I just scroll with the mouse. And the way I understood Scrollmagic works is that if I set a duration, if I have a duration, that's how the animation happens on the scroll. But if I don't have animation duration, then okay, it looks like duration it's still added. So I guess because they have maybe this push followers. Okay, looks like okay, that makes sense. So okay, so I need to remove duration and make push followers. I guess that will be true, and I believe true is by default, so duration still stands. I have to remove duration, and So I'm thinking I need to trigger this animation only when I scroll out. So this, like right here, when I scroll out, it will happen. Because right now everything happens automatically once I remove duration.